Good evening, everyone. I am Ben Klein, commish of the Hardcore Challenge, and welcome to another edition of Hardcore Challenge Live. Tonight is our Week 7 Game of the Week edition. We will be unveiling our Game of the Week, breaking it down, looking at all of the ins and outs of it, and like we do every week. But before we get into our Game of the Week, we actually have a special guest that is going to be joining us on the show tonight. Typically, we don't have an interview this early in the show, but I'm trying to fit two in tonight, so we'll see how it works out.
Cannot hear anything.
So, on the phone here, we have Matt Herrin, owner of the Beaver Street Roar, joining us tonight. How are we doing, Matt? Can you hear me? There we go. I can probably hear me now. How are you doing, Matt? Hello?
I'm doing okay.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There we go. Sorry. Technical difficulties, apparently.
That's all good. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
All right.
All right. So, Matt, thanks for joining us. You started out the season slow at 0-2. You've now bounced back with 4 straight wins. What do you attribute the resurgence of your team? What is the difference in the Beaver Street Roar?
All right. I'm an idiot that was watching the video as I was talking to you, so it had interfering audio, and I missed that first question.
You're that guy? You're that guy that got to tell you to turn the radio down? You're that guy.
I'm totally that guy.
You're that guy.
Let me turn my radio down. All right, we're
wow. Good. You're that guy. Oh, Matt, I'm so disappointed in you.
I was in another world right before this. Let's go.
I'm so disappointed in you. All right. So, you started out 0-2. You've won 4 in a row. What is the resurgence? What is the difference in the Beaver Street Roar the last 4 weeks?
Well, after the first 3 games, I had the return of Le'Veon Bell, and that's proved to make my backfield pretty damn formidable. Between DeMarco Murray and Le'Veon Bell, I've got 2 of the top backs in the league. Let's see. Not to mention, I've got the ever-present Julio. Many a Sunday am I singing me and Julio down at the schoolyard. Julio Jones is a stud, of course. I cannot forget the man that runs it all, Cam Newton. I've built a foundation in this team, and when all the pistons are firing, it is a hard machine to stop.
Yeah, it's looked that way the last 4 weeks. You were second in scoring this week, so you're looking good. We had your opponent on last night, Mr. Willie Weems, owner of the 5-3 Bandits, who said he's rooting for injuries and probably currently at home stabbing a voodoo doll, hoping for a tight victory to end your winning streak. What is your predictions for the matchup this weekend?
Well, I'll tell you right here and now, it's got nothing to do with voodoo dolls or even injuries. I wish his team to be completely healthy when I totally take it down and dismantle him with Case Keenum at the helm. Yeah, that's right.
You got to roll with Case Keenum?
It's good to see a rookie in the league. It's good to see a rookie in the league coming out and taking advantage of the great format that we have here for fantasy football. But I'm going to show him how we do it in the Dirty South. I am the defending champ of the Dirty South, and you can't stop me right now. I'm coming for you. You see me raw.
All right. Well, that was one of the last questions I was going to ask you. Do you have anything you want to say to They See Me Rawlin', who is possibly going to be on the show at the end of the show? It's going to be our next interview. So, do you have anything you'd like to say to Mr. Joe, who you're currently chasing one game behind?
They see me rolling. Right on. I tell you what, I will give you kudos on the name. I totally dig it. It's my second favorite name in fantasy football right now. The other one is Show Me Your TDs. Anyway.
That's a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. This is my division. I hate to say it, but I am the returning, defending. The Dirty South is mine. That's all I got to say. And I tell you what, they see me rolling. I'm glad you started out hot. You've done a really good job. Like, kudos to that. You're making this Dirty South even stronger. But I am the one who sits at the top, and I will return to my seat. That's right. The Dirty South is mine. You got to come get me to take it. And you can't. That's right. I don't even know. It can't be stopped. The Dirty South represent bitches. I tell you what, hardcore challenge. If you want to come at me, you come at me. I don't give a damn. Me and Cam and Julio, we will take all of you down. I'm going for the belt. I'm going for the trophy. I'm going for the ring. That's right. I'm going for that cash, son. That's right. The Dirty South is mine. Anyway, I've lost my mind.
There we go. You heard it from Matt. Laid it down. He's going to win it all, apparently. All right. So thanks, Matt, for taking some time out of your evening there. Apologize for the little technical difficulties we had there. Apparently, I've got to tell everybody to turn their radio down, I guess. So, all right. So let's get into it. The meat of the show. Our Week 7 game of the week is, don't know if you guys figured it out from the slight hint of the photo I posted earlier, but the game of the week is another huge game. We've got number 2 in the power rankings going against number 3 in the power rankings. The two go head-to-head as 5-1. Pale Horseman, who leads the Elite East Division, faces off against 5-1. They See Me Rollin', who is leading the Dirty South Division. This game has some history behind it, as both owners have only made the playoffs in 2012 when they were the only co-owners that the Hardcore Challenge has ever had. They co-owned the Gents, who went on an epic regular season run in their rookie season, made it all the way to the playoffs, and got bounced without a win. Neither one of them have returned since. The next season, they split off into Pale Horsemen, and now the Gents has morphed into They See Me Rollin'. So they hook up this weekend, and oh, how the times have changed. This seems like a much more critical matchup, obviously, for They See Me Rollin', as they are only sitting with a tight 1-game lead over the surging and hot Beaver Street Roar, who has won 4 straight, when we just heard from their owner, Matt Herrin. Now, Pale Horseman still sitting with a solid 2-game lead over the entire, basically, rest of their division. Only 2 teams are trying to fight them for that. So even after starting 5-0, that 1 loss doesn't really hurt them. Obviously, they don't want to drop 2 straight. Nobody wants to drop 2 straight after starting out 5-0. So let's get into the breakdown of this matchup. When looking at these two historically, you can't really pick a favorite. Other than 2012, neither has been consistent or made the playoffs. So the first thing you got to look at in this matchup is obviously the quarterbacks. Big news today, as of one of Rollins' quarterbacks was sent to the bench. Mr. Ryan Fitzpatrick's services are no longer needed. Geno Smith is now the starter, and which leaves the quarterback carousel, which has been helping They See Me Rollin' get to the 5-1 record of switching a hot quarterback between Fitzpatrick and Osweiler working matchups. Well, that ain't going to work no more. Now he's got to roll with Osweiler. And how do you really feel about that going down the stretch in your fantasy season as Osweiler's your quarterback? Number 17 for the frickin' Texans. I wouldn't feel good about that, but who knows? Maybe he's got some magic, and maybe we'll find out if we get him on for an interview here tonight. Now, you look at the other side of the ball, and they've got Matty Ice. I mean, he's one of the hottest quarterbacks in the league right now. So, he kind of had a little bit of a off week, but I think Matty Ice bounces back. I definitely give the huge edge at quarterback to Pale Horseman in this one. You've got, now you're looking at the running backs, you got Jacquizz Rodgers, who's going to be toting the rock for the Bucks. And everybody else, it's a freaking mash unit on that running back squad. So Jacquizz Rodgers is really going to get a lot of the carries. He's really going to be toting it for the Bucks this week. And then Spencer Ware for the Chiefs. Even though Jamal Charles is back and look good, Ware's still going to get a lot of touches. Pale Horseman's got Mark Ingram and Isaiah Crowell. They weren't huge last week as they got freaking the boots put to them by, I'm thinking, Arby's. But I keep the Steelers towel down here in case I need to, blow my nose or anything. I keep one handy. But so I definitely give the big advantage at running back to Rollins. Big. Now the wide receiver, it's a different story. Pale Horseman's got Crabtree and Travis Benjamin. Travis Benjamin was a little off this last week. So was Michael Crabtree, as Cooper got all of the carries, all of the touches. He was feeding it to Cooper all day. They were just off last week in the rain against the Chiefs. I look for him to bounce back. Good weather game in Jacksonville. And Crabtree and Benjamin are going to go big. Macklin and Shepard for Rollins. I see them both with single-digit scores. Pretty much darn near what they're projected by the league. I don't see him doing much better than that. Now, Rollins has Jason Witten on bye this week, so I'm not sure what he's going to do at tight end. I'm sure he's going to make a move, obviously, before the weekend. But with Martellus Bennett on the other side, you got to give the advantage to Pale Horseman there. I mean, Tom Brady seemed to really like that guy since he's come back, and he's dumping the ball to him a lot. Had the 3-touchdown game. I see him having another big game. Now, at the flex position, Rollins has Allen Hurns from the Jaguars, and Pale Horseman has tight end Tammy for the Falcons. I just don't think Hurns is going to have a very big game this week playing the Raiders. Tammy playing the Chargers. I think Matty Ice puts up a lot of points on the Chargers. Chargers always seem to be in a shootout, so I think that bodes well for Tammy as well. Now, at the kicker, I'll give the advantage to Tucker for Baltimore. I don't know why. It's a freaking coin flip, really. It's the kickers. But I'm going to give that to Rollins. Now, defense, I do see a big advantage as you've got the Broncos defense with Houston coming to Denver to play them. There's some bad blood with Osweiler, Balin. Von Miller's already mentioned to it this week. So that could be big, which leads to an odd thing there because you've got Pale Horseman with the Broncos D playing at home against Houston. Von Miller's already got a bone to pick. He's already said something about it. But Von Miller's on Rollins' team. So a big play by Von Miller could X each other out. And the advantage that Pale Horseman would typically have on that defense may be thrown off by the fact that Von Miller, the guy that gets a lot of those big plays, big splash plays, is on the other team. So it's just an interesting matchup. And you've got Rollins' defense, the Eagles, at home against Minnesota. That seems like an interesting matchup too. So the defenses are it's kind of hard to call the defenses because they've got a lot of the same players on their team. But I'm going to lean a little bit in the advantage of Pale Horseman there. So we'll see. But with all that being said, looking at the matchups and what have you, I'm going to reserve my prediction till we see if we can get Mr. Dudinsky on the phone, owner of They See Me Rollin'. Now, calling Joe is a crapshoot. Joe is at work currently. He's always at work when the show is going on. He usually watches it on his lunch break. But we are going to try and get him, although he had a meeting that he was in, and it might just be getting over. But we'll see. So, look at the matchup with these guys. I think the quarterback's obviously a big advantage for Pale Horseman. Big advantage for Pale Horseman. So, no, doesn't look like we're going to get Joe tonight. We'll have to try again some other evening, so we're not going to have the owner of They See Me Rollin', one of our Game of the Week contestants. He must still be in his architect meeting, so hey, that's a bummer when you work nights at the airport. So, with that being said, I guess I will give my prediction now since I'm not going to talk to Joe and see what his prediction is first. And I'm not picking Joe. I think Joe's going down this week. I think Joe loses. I think Beaver Street Roar beats the 5-3 Bandits, moves up, and ties They See Me Rollin' for first place in the Dirty South. That's what I see happening this week. I think Pale Horseman bounces back. They had a very off game last week. Got the freaking boots put to them by I'm thinking Arby's, and I think they come back with a vengeance this week and they move to 6-1. and maintain at least a 2-game lead in their division. That's how I see it breaking down. Agree, disagree, we will see. But I think I moved to 6-1 in my game of the week predictions because I just don't think Joe has the firepower this week. I think the quarterback, him losing his quarterback is really going to hurt. He's been able to play the hot matchups with 2 weak quarterbacks, with Brock Osweiler and Ryan Fitzpatrick. And I just don't think only being able to go with Osweiler, not being able to play the hot matchup every week, is going to help out. But what do I know? Maybe I'm wrong. I know he's got Landry Jones on the bench, who's going to be able to play for Pittsburgh now that Big Ben's down and hurt his raping knee, or whatever, he messed up his shoulder, his elbow, whatever. So maybe he's going to try to do the hot quarterback with Landry Jones and Brock Osweiler. But, man, do you really want to hang your playoff dreams on Landry Jones and Brock Osweiler? Just doesn't sound like a good thing, does it? Just doesn't sound like a good thing. Alrighty, on that note, we're going to get out of here. Remember, all trades need 48-hour approval time from the minute they post, no exceptions. Trade deadline, less than 4 weeks away. If you're making a playoff run, you better start thinking about it. You ain't got much time left to plan. Still 2 of you guys out there with gray helmets. King Salami, Tears, fix that shit, man. Get a logo. Week 7 is here, folks. Are you ready for the challenge? Good luck. Game on.